Living Heritage is designed to highlight, examine, and celebrate elements of the rich cultural heritage of St. Kitts and Nevis. Journey with us as we explore our distinct and immersive culture. Welcome to a life of pride in our past and confidence in our present and future. Welcome to Living Heritage.
Welcome to Living Heritage, ICH documentary series of St. Kitts and Nevis. When was the last time you heard a good story? Yes, today we will be addressing storytelling. Storytelling was once a vibrant part of the culture of St. Kitts and Nevis. However, with development came electricity and other modern amenities, which meant there was no longer the need to capture the light of fireflies. And no longer would residents sit on the porch at evenings slapping mosquitoes, while elders scared children with their drumbeat stories. The art form is thought to have come from Africa, following in the griot tradition. This is evident in the Anansi stories of the tricky spider that originated in West Africa but is found in various forms in the tales of some of the Caribbean islands. Yet, storytelling in its traditional sense no longer takes place. There are many distractions, including smart devices. The Department of Creative Economy is therefore capturing the stories of nationals like Agnes Skerritt, who hold the historical record. At the age of 94, Mr. Skerritt shared some of her life experiences with wit and candor. She is helping us to safeguard the storytelling element in the domain of oral traditions and expressions, including language as a vehicle of the intangible cultural heritage. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the candor, wit, and humor of Mistress Agnes Skerritt.
I was born in St. Peter's, you know. That's where I was born. And then my parents had us very fast. Me 29, my sister 30, and the other sister 31. And then my Mrs. Ribeiro, there was a lady who had a big business in Sandy Point, the Ribeiros, and she opened a place in Sandy Point for my father, a grocery, and in what in those days they used to call a rubber shop, a liquor store. And then, so we were living inside, that's how we came to be living in Sandy Point. But I grew up more with the Ribeiro than, between the two houses. But after a while, I think my father, after a few years, he moved back to St. Peter's. I was born right opposite the playing field. Mr. Bass has a shop now. That's where I was born. And then he moved back to St. Peter's, but I stayed with the Ribeiros in Sandy Point until I was about 9 years old, and then came up to Bass there to stay with to go to the convent school. Sandy, really, yeah. It was almost a Ribeiro community because it was Mrs. Ribeiro, and then she had a son called Gerard Ribeiro, who then lived here at Baker's Corner. His son is that fellow Joseph, and another one who migrated to Canada called Alwyn. Alwyn was the choir master in our church. His brother was the organist, and of course at 9 years old I was in the choir. But it was a different setting, darling. Everybody was family. Everybody knew each other, and they never called Mrs. Ribeiro anything but by her husband's name. Her husband was Joseph, Miss Joe. Everybody called him. And in those days, they had a bakery, and you would go and buy a bread for a penny, and they'd come into the shop, buy the bread for the penny, and then, Miss Joe, oh, me can put in some butter for me. The butter costs more than the bread, you know. Or, Miss Joe, you come with a little piece of cheese for me. And she'd put it in. But another thing I recall from my own experiences after I got married,